Hi guys, Matt here from Behind the Iron. Thanks again for hanging out. Right, so I've had a couple of people ask me to review a person by the name of, well, he calls himself the LiverKing, AKA Brian Johnson. Now this guy's he's different, and there's a few questions that people have. They want to know whether or not his ideas are actually practical. They want to know, obviously, like everybody else, they want to know whether he's natural or whether he's not. Apparently he has claimed to be natural. They want my opinion on this, as well as a few other things. So, I'm going to take a look, and I'll tell you what I think in a second.
When you realize that people are suffering and struggling, and that there's a simple, elegant solution, a return to ancestral living, that's really what my purpose is now. There's this really simple way of living. It's ancestral living. It's the way that we've lived for millions of years. It's accessible. It's something you can literally do right now, today, and you can have an impact and change your life tomorrow. This is why my life's work is my mission, is my purpose. It's putting back in what the modern world left out.
Okay, so LiverKing, let's take a bit of a look at what I could find. He seems to be a bit of a TikTok star. I believe that's how he started off. So, yep, let's have a look. Let's have a bit of a look at what he eats, and I'll let you know what I think.
LiverKing here. Just got back from a trip. Here's what I'm going to have for dinner today. As usual, we're going to start with liver and bone marrow. But we don't need those anymore because we got this. We got some fresh liver with some maple syrup and salt.
Okay, so I assume that the liver in this is raw, which is why he's putting it with maple syrup and salt. Look, like anything, I guess, if it's safe to eat raw, it's always going to be better for you, but I guess it comes down to whether or not you can stomach it. Let's have a bit of a look further.
We got a femur bone with a huge chunk of bone marrow in it.
I will say this. I myself have gotten into bone marrow before, and not only do I find it to be quite delicious, it actually does, I think it gives you a bit of a pickup. I don't know if that's just me. I've been doing that since ages before I knew this guy even existed. But so as far as I'm concerned, bone marrow is a good way to go. Play on a little bit further.
We got probably at least 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of meat. I'm going to eat at least half, if not all of that. Got some beautiful carbs here. Got some purple potatoes from Japan, straight from Japan. Right here. Some mashed potatoes, some more carbs, and some guamki. For all you Poles that know exactly what that is, you know how delicious this is. This is what LiverKing is going to feast on tonight. When you get back from vacation and you get this, there's just no food better.
I don't know if anyone else is noticing, he's not really exerting himself, but he's out of breath. That is a sign, without obviously saying too much, that's a sign that he could be on various different compounds. There are some compounds that do suck the wind out of you. So as far as this whole natty or not, I'll get into that a little bit later on, but that's... for someone who appears to be so lean and fit, he shouldn't be out of breath just telling us what he's going to eat. We'll come a little bit further.
It's like you continue the vacation, and that's life, and that's LiverKing out.
Okay, so... yeah.
We're trying to be.
So there's no doubt he's in fantastic shape.
Stay low key.
Okay, LiverKing, AKA Brian Johnson. I like this guy. I actually do. I like his message. You know, I like the fact that he's putting it out there for the young people, especially, to put down your mobile phones, to put down, you know, your tablets and all this sort of thing, and actually get out, enjoy life, get some sun, and you know, eat a little bit cleaner and exercise. You know, that's a pretty positive message to put out there. As far as the question that I got as to whether or not I believe his way of eating, in regards to, you know, the raw organs or even cooked organs, but organs in general, over the consumption of meat and all the rest of it, whether or not, you know, people want to know whether or not this is, in my opinion, something that is practical and will result in gains or result in a benefit at all. To answer that, yeah, I actually do. For a couple of reasons. I mean, it's not rocket science. You know, we've known for a very long time that organs, you know, contain more basically of everything than just basic skeletal tissue. You know, so meat, steak, roast, you know, whatever it is you're having, bacon. Can't believe I said that, but yeah. So to simply consume that sort of part of the animal for its nutritional benefits, yes, there's definitely a strong argument that that is in fact a smart move. We even see it, you know, in nature. You look at the large cats in Africa, you know, the lions, the leopards, the cheetahs, and all this sort of thing. When they do bring something down, the first thing they do, instead of going straight for its back legs or whatever to consume all the meat, the first thing they do is actually get into the animal and start eating away at its organs. Believe it or not, the meat is sort of one of the last things to get consumed, and this is because I believe it's imprinted into these animals that you know, organ meat is better for you in terms of pound for pound. Now, remember that these cats can't sit there and gorge themselves all day. Something's always going to come along, a hyena's going to come along and push them off their prey, or whatever the case might be, or another pride, whatever it is. I'm not a nature expert, but the fact is they do have a limited time to eat, so they need to be getting the best nourishment for the time that they're spending eating. Straight into the organs, there's got to be something there. I'm actually going to do a little bit more research on this, if nothing else then for myself. Now, like I did say, the LiverKing has his own supplement line. I don't know whether it's in conjunction with other people or not, but ancestral supplements, and this is basically a combination. It's organs put into a capsule form. So for those people that just can't sit down and eat a pancreas or a spleen or whatever he's eating, he's brought them out in pill form. Now, I'm intrigued by this, and I'm actually going to reach out to him and see whether or not we can work together. I'd love to jump on a course of his supplements and give my honest opinion as to whether or not I believe they do what they say they'll do. But no, he's got a massive selection of different supplements and things like that out there, and I'm definitely going to check it out. So I will, if anything develops, I'll definitely bring you all along for the journey. Right. Now, is he natural or is he not? Well, I guess the first thing I'll say to that is, who cares? However, I have been told, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so this is just from what people have told me, is that he actually does claim to be natural. He claims that his physique, his strength, and his lifestyle is basically, well, essentially it's a I guess a byproduct of the way that he eats and all the rest of it, the way that he controls how he sleeps and all that sort of thing. Look, if you can sleep better, and if you can eat better, and if you can obviously get out and exercise and all the rest of it, your body is going to naturally look better. But he's not natural. Now, the information that I have, which is very limited, because apparently this guy, with respect to him, of course, was sort of like no one really knew about him. He was, I won't say he's a nobody, because that's a horrible thing to say, but he was unknown, even up to a couple of years ago. Then all of a sudden his Instagram just exploded, and now we have, a guy that's chatted about on pretty much every forum in the health and fitness industry. So the information that I could find on him is sort of limited, but apparently they've put him at between 40 and 45 years of age, and that he lives in Texas. As far as his age is concerned, he looks like he would be about that old, maybe even older, but it's hard to tell. The guy's got this big epic beard and everything else going, so he's all about sort of like that primitive appearance, and this is where he's come a little bit unstuck with some people. Some people are sort of like, well, how come he's not running around in a loincloth 24/7 like our ancestors? Come on, guys. I mean, use your brain a little bit, of course. In this day and age, I think we can forgive the man for wearing a wristwatch or, waxing his chest or whatever the case might be. I think we've got bigger things to worry about in this world than that. But yeah, look, the amount of muscle that he's carrying and the development of that muscle is, for me at least, it goes a little bit past the realm of natural. Especially when you look at his chest, not only is it sitting very high, but it's incredibly developed. And it's also, for those of you who have been in the industry a little while, his skin on his chest, if you look at it, it actually has a little bit of a red tinge to it. Now, I don't need to go too much into it, but that is, or can be, an indicator that someone's using certain compounds. But look, given the way that he looks, I don't know what he weighs, I don't know how tall he is. I would guess he would be about 5'10" and maybe around about 220 pounds at a guess. But that development that he has, I would be skeptical that it's natural. However, having said that, there's a possibility that given his age, he's finished with all the gear and he's just running TRT now. So maybe in his mind, he's brought his testosterone levels down to a manageable amount, a therapeutic dose, and for him that is natural. So it's hard to tell where people are at. But having said all that, although we do need to be careful when we start telling people that we're natural, we see it in every sport, strength sport, as well as bodybuilding. We see guys that are just clearly not natural, and they claim, that they've never used anything. It does make the person look a little bit silly, and it takes away takes any credit that they might have already had for later projects. But having said that, I don't know the man. I've never obviously met him. I can only go by the limited information that I've been able to find. In my opinion, he's either has been on something or he is still. But I really like him. I like his message. I like his theories, and I'm actually looking forward to working a little bit more out about what he's doing. And this is something I'm gonna give a crack, because I've been looking for something new. I've been looking for a different direction to take. I've already started mixing up my training and all the rest of it. So I'm going to add this sort of thing to it, and I'm going to bring you along for the journey, and hopefully we can all learn something together. So that's pretty much it from me. If you do have any other reaction videos you want me to do, if you have any questions or whatever, throw it down in the comment section. As always, please subscribe, please like, so we can continue to grow this channel. Thank you very much for all your time. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me today. Keep well and stay safe. All the very best.